Hey, Market Theory here. Welcome back. Today we're going to be completely reviewing M1 Finance and if you should get it or not, depending on your life situation. So stick around. I got some value for you today. So just to give you guys some background, since most of y'all will not know me at this point, I've been using M1 Finance for the past few months, and I have been setting all of my accounts on auto dividend reinvestment and auto pay $50 a week. So $50 a week goes into my pie, and it's just a dividend pie made up of mostly ETFs, a few stocks, a few REITs, etc. But for me, this is a very, very small portion of my portfolio overall. But I am going to share you with the pie, how to use the pie, why you should maybe use the pie, or why you should maybe pick a different brokerage depending on your situation. So let's get into some pros and cons. And if you guys decide that you want to try out M1 Finance, I have a link down there where you get $30 free for now. I think it's very limited time, so you got to get into that before, I think, the end of February or something, but check back with that link after because I think they always have at least $10, but you deposit nothing and you get $30 free instantly added to your pie. So basically you guys could get instantly $30 free into your account. I also get money back as well, so it's a win-win for both of us. Obviously, I'm not expecting you guys to use my link, but if you do use M1, it would be highly appreciated since I could get a little rollback and you guys get $30 as well. So win-win. So in my opinion, M1 Finance is one of the best if you are considering long-term investing and not any short-term day trades, swing trades, anything like that. These are stocks that you're going to want to hold for years on years because this form of pies, as we'll get into later, is very, very long-term oriented. It's not meant to always be selling, buying, selling, buying. If you want to do that, I would recommend a Robinhood, a TD, a Fidelity, something along that nature. So basically, the way you create your pie is completely up to you. You can split it between ETFs, stocks, REITs. You could split it into 100 different stocks. You could split it into just 5. It does not matter, but it is going to invest any money you put in there equally into all the stocks. So if you have 1% of 100 stocks and you put $10 in there, it's going to split that $10 into every single stock you have there. And that's the beauty of it. You can also do individual buys, but the reason I like to do it is just laid back, automatically invest X amount of dollars a week, and it's automatically going to go in every Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever you set it to. Another very nice thing is once you do have a lot of money built into it, you can get a line of credit, and it is like no other. Look at these rates, okay? If you get M1 Plus, which is $125 a year, but every single month they run something and it's like $25 a year or something. But with M1 Plus, you can take out money off of your stocks at just 2% annual interest. That's unheard of. Honestly, 2% is insane. You want to go buy a car, you want to go renovate your house, whatever you want to do with that 2%, that is cheaper than you're going to get for an auto loan anywhere. You're not even having to take money out. You just take it straight from your brokerage account. Absolutely incredible. You do need at least $10,000 as it says here. But yeah, that's enough for that. I'm going to log in real quick. I got to be careful on what I show here. All right. So as you guys can see, my account's pretty small. I'm pretty sure I blocked out everything that needs to be blocked out here. But yeah, 639, we started this account here. It looks like October 28th is the first day of this account. I just put $200 and let it rock there. And ever since then, ever since here, basically starting this new year, I was just putting $50 in every single week. Not much, but I just want to see how the pie works over a long term. Over a short term, it's looking pretty good considering this is completely off of dividend stocks. I'm only having a dividend portfolio, as you guys could read right here. So I'm going to show you how this pie works. So right here where my cursor is, you guys can see everything from value to the gain so far. So as you can see, ETFs are up 15, blue chip companies, that's up 10, and then REITs are up another 5% for me. Now this is a very small sample size, but you still get the point. Right here, you're going to see the percentage I allocate for them. I want this to be a very passive portfolio. So I have dividend ETFs. I only have a few blue chip companies and a few REITs in here. So there's very, very little actually inside of this portfolio. And that's for a reason. This is very condensed. I'm not building this up yet until I know that it works. Once I know that it completely works and I like the way it works, that's when I'll be adding more stocks, more money every single week. I might up it to 500, 600, whatever. But anyways, we got 55% going into ETFs, 25% going into blue chips, and 20% going into REITs. Now, as the prices fluctuate, these might become overweight or underweight, and that is going to be indicated on the left under my pie. As you guys can see up here, once I go back over, it says underweight. It's at 54.8%. Now, what that means is the dividend ETFs either stayed put or something else happened. The blue chips went up a lot today, and the REITs went up, and the REITs ended up overweight. Whatever it might be, that's just how it ended up. The next time it reinvests, though, next week, the $50 that comes in, it's going to allocate this so these numbers get right back back to 55%, 25%, and 20%. So when I actually go inside of this and hit dividend ETFs, this is going to show all of the different positions. There's only 5 right now. As I said, there's not many in any of these, but there's no reason for me to be super diversified with $600 or whatever, $350. So right here, we're going to have the same allocation menu, 30%, 30% into these two, VYM and SCHD. And then I also have the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation here, SPHD, this is the monthly pair, and then value ETFs. Okay, so these all have ratings and they're going to do the same rebalancing every single week whenever I decide to buy. Now, if I decide one time that I don't want this VOOV anymore, I can hit edit here, go into my pie, and I will hit 0%. Okay, if I set it to 1, it's not going to sell anything. Instead, it's just not going to buy any more until it needs to at 1%. Now, if I hit 0%, this is where it's going to sell everything that I have in it. Now, same thing goes if I switch these around and bring this to 25 and bring this to 30. The next time I put $50 in or dividends go into the account, it's going to put this money into VIG to try to balance it to how I set it. So I don't want to do that for this. So I'm going to hit reset here and hit exit. But that's pretty simple for the pies. As for if you want to make a pie, you have to go down here. This is going to be different on your phone. It's basically the same exact thing. So then you hit my pies and then you create new pie. Okay. Once we're here, we got to just pick the stock. So if this is going to be our tech stocks, we can go in here, hit Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, whatever. Just put whatever the heck you want in here. Okay, we hit add, and then it's going to bring us a pie. So at this point, we can hit edit, and we can create our pie. V1, okay, version 1, if we wanted to create different versions. At this point, we can allocate however we want. Say we are really into Apple, so we're going to bring that up to 15 or 20. Bring Amazon down to 15. We can bring everyone to wherever we want, however we want, whenever we want, okay? So this keeps you really on top of your game. You don't have to do the math in your head. If you know anything about portfolio sizing, you're going to want to know that every position should have a percentage and you don't have to do the math in this situation. So this is why it's good for situations like starting a Roth IRA or starting just a normal brokerage. In my case, just a dividend portfolio that I could be very, very hands off on. As for your auto invest, this is something that's very important. You can turn this off if you want to individually buy stocks and click on them and actually buy a certain amount, so on and so forth. But if you're using M1 Finance, that's not the point. Go get Fidelity, go get Robinhood, go get something else, because this is really for the ease of use. Very easy to maintain an M1 account. All you have to do is hit auto invest. You can set up your auto invest so you invest $25 a week, $10 a week, whatever it is. It's better to start somewhere and it's easier to start on M1. There's not much brain to it. You have to do the one-time work to get your stocks in here and just make sure these stocks are good stocks. And if you aren't sure about it, go into ETFs, find some good ETFs that you like and create a portfolio around them. But the auto invest feature, this could be set at any number really, but this is going to be the number you need for it to actually start buying into your pie. So if you set this at 100, once this cash balance hits $100, the next day in the trading day, which is tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m., it is going to buy $100 into your pie or into your portfolio. Now, I have it set at 0, so I think the minimum is like 25. So it waits till every Tuesday when it auto reinvests. Every single Tuesday, it brings this $50 in and just sends it up. But that's how the auto invest feature works. As for the borrow, this is something that you guys are going to eventually want to use eventually. All right, so the minimum you need on the account is $10,000. That'll happen in no time. You invest $50 a week. That's a few years down the line. You're already there. Not bad at all. And then you can borrow up 35% of your portfolio's value. So 35% of the stocks in your account or whatever. So if you had $10,000, you could borrow $3,500 at a 2% interest. You could go buy a cheap car at 2%. This is just showing every single thing, get extra buying power, pay for your wedding, start a business, remodel your home, refinance. It doesn't really matter what you use. I don't think they really background check you for this. The leverage is all in your stocks. You just can't take money out of these stocks during this time. It's basically just your collateral for the time being. Now you can also take this out and use it as margin, okay? That's where things get a little bit risky, but if you see a huge Corona dip or something like that, take out 10 grand, put that money in, it doubles up, sell off, bada bing, bada boom, you just made a bunch of money and you made a lot more than 2%. Now, if you would like to set up spending, so a debit card really, you can get 1%, which isn't terrible, but you might as well just use a credit card. But if you don't have a credit card, this is better than nothing, 1%, but it really equals up to 2% if you are using the debit card as well. So the debit card will give you 1% cash back when you use your debit card, and then you'll be collecting 1% interest on your bank, which is not incredible, but it's a lot better than standard big banks, okay? Especially in times like this. I can't imagine once interest rates, go back up, I'm sure that this number is going to go up as well, and it should always be probably higher than normal standard banks. So overall, investing passively, borrow feature, taking out loans and stuff against your account, very easy. Setting up pies, very easy. Spending, getting interest back basically like a credit card, very, very awesome. Great features, lowest interest rate by far. So M1 Finance for me is a hot take. I think I'm going to be putting a lot more money in this, but overall my Fidelity has my Roth with it. So that's where the majority of the money goes, is to the Roth and the normal brokerage and Fidelity. However, I do like to play around with these other smaller brokerages like M1 and Robinhood. But as for M1, I highly would recommend just trying it out. Get that free $30. If you don't like it though, you could just close your account once you get the $30. Simple as that. I think it takes a month to actually put the $30 into your account, so you are going to have to be a little patient there. However, once you do get that $30, it'll go straight into your pie, so you could basically buy a free stock of a cheaper company. It's honestly probably the best deal out there right now. I mean, you can go on Webull, but I have a link down there for that, for the 4 free stocks. But personally, I think M1 Finance is a better platform overall for long-term investing. Very unique style of investing, and you could always have more than just an M1 Finance account. I think it's really good for beginners though. It's very easy, very hands-off. You don't have to know too much. You can't be trading options because it doesn't really let you do that. So it's limited in that sense, but for long-term retirement accounts, savings accounts, college savings accounts, whatever it is, this is definitely a good way to go. Anyways, hopefully this helped you with M1 deciding if you want it or not. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. We're not quite there yet. I think we're sitting at around 870. So if you could hit that, appreciate it a lot. See you in the next one.